Hi folks, and welcome back to a video about ratcheting screwdrivers. Not the normal topic of conversation for this channel, but we're going to get into it a little bit because I recently went looking for another one of these, the Klein model 32558 ratcheting screwdriver, and I was devastated to find out that they no longer offer it. And you guys that use tools, especially hand tools that you get used to, you know that that's kind of like finding the perfect pair of socks that's just the right length for your foot and isn't too big and isn't too small and the elastic's good, and you wear them for a few years and you go get it more and they don't sell them anymore, and then you got to go find new socks again. But that's beside the point. This screwdriver is that way for me. I love this Klein 32558 ratcheting screwdriver, and they decided to not sell it anymore. They have another ratcheting screwdriver, and I'm sure it's fine, but I really like this one. And let me tell you why I like it, first of all, to explain why this was such a life-changing disaster that they quit offering it. For one, I like Klein tools in general. I've been really happy with most Klein products that I've had. I can't really think of very many exceptions to that. But it has, of course, a number 2 Phillips there. If you flip this around, it has a number 1 square drive, the Robertson drive that our Canadian friends came up with. Great for receptacles, switches, things like that. And of course, number 2 Phillips is everywhere. If you take this shaft out, flip it around, right here I've got number 2 Robertson. I have to think about those sizings a little bit. But yeah, it's number 2. 3/16 slotted, 1/4 inch slotted, and on the other side of that, a number 1 Phillips. And this is generally how I keep it set up, to where on one side of it, I've got the number 2 Phillips. On the other side, I have the 1/4 inch flat. And then the other things that I don't use quite as often are inside, but easily within reach. The other thing that makes this great that you don't get with most ratcheting type screwdrivers is, of course, you have a 1/4 inch nut driver here. This bit is actually a 5/16 on the outside. It's not the standard 1/4. So this is a 5/16 nut driver, and the outside of this piece is it's a 3/8 inch Allen, and then this is a 3/8 inch nut driver. So you have a whole lot of versatility in that. Put this back together. Whole lot of versatility. Nothing is stored in the handle. The handle ratchets, it ratchets smoothly. Has this collar on it that has some knurling, so it's easy to get a grip on and switch, but it doesn't tend to switch when you're actually using the thing. So really nice ratcheting screwdriver there with a lot of versatility. Now, what's wrong with it? First of all, number 2 Phillips, if you use them much, you know they have a tendency to eventually round out, especially if you use a lot of torque on them. And this is a 5/16 ball detent retained proprietary part, and you can't get these things just off the shelf normally. But then it's even worse than that. If you look at the other side, well, these reversible bits here, as nice as they are having all this in a compact package, they are also ball detent retained. And so if we look at this, and let's say you break, you wear out, you lose these special bits, well, let's grab some other bits here. Got some DeWalt's, or a DeWalt, a couple Makitas. Well, this side, it's still a 5/16 nut driver, but it is completely useless for everything else. just too big. So still a good nut driver, but that's it. Well, you still got your quarter on this side, right? Well, not really, because even though, yeah, you can fit a bit in there, because the factory bits are retained with a ball detent, it just falls back out. So you're dependent forever on Klein's proprietary parts, which hasn't been a big deal for me. I keep track of them, or do my best to. The bits that came with it are pretty good quality. This one has a little bit of rounding starting on it, but not bad. But those are the issues with the Klein. As I was looking for a replacement for this, or a supplement to it, I don't really need to replace it right now, but I wanted to get another one just to have another. They discontinued it. So I started looking around, and I found a couple options that I'm actually really happy with, and I think they're an improvement. First of all, take a look at these side by side. I think these came out of the same factory. I mean, I can't guarantee it, but look at just they're exactly the same on the actual ratcheting mechanism. I mean, same length, same diameter, they're identical. The finish, you can see the machining on it, the blasting, the bead blasting done at the end to kind of mat it out is very, very similar. It looks like the Klein might be a little bit more matte, but I mean, that could just be day-to-day differences in production. They're identical. Of course, the Lenox one, different handle kind of profile, but it's rubberized also. Some different coloration. They changed the knurling a little bit on the selector. But this is, it seems like to me, the next generation of the discontinued Klein. What's also really cool is that these Klein ones, I think I've typically paid $35 or $40 for them. This Lenox one I got on Amazon for $16. And I think part of the reason that it's cheaper now is because there aren't as many proprietary parts. They're using more things that are just off the shelf. First of all, let me show you this. It is actually interchangeable. I can put the Klein main shaft in the Lenox. It works like normal, because this is still ball detent retained on both. And likewise, the Lenox one in the Klein works fine. So the real change is in this piece, the main shaft. Set the Klein out of the way for now, since we're not talking about that. So let's look at this and how it works. You still have on this side a 5/8 nut driver, but it actually reduces down probably 3/8 of an inch in there, maybe half an inch in, to a 1/4 inch. So you can fit 1/4 inch sized 6-sided hexagonal bits in. It's magnetic. There's no ball detents. So this is just an off-the-shelf 2 3/8 inch double-ended bit that you can get from other manufacturers. You don't have to get the Lenox proprietary bit. And to demonstrate that, I can go ahead and take this Makita 2-inch, so it's a little bit short, but very standard, and it fits in there. And of course it sits back a little further because it's not a double-ended bit, but it works. So I think that's really cool. You got your number 2 Phillips here, and then without taking the main shaft of the tool out, you have your 1/4 inch, I think it's a 1/4 inch, 8-10, whatever that is. But you have a decent sized slotted screwdriver. Now let's look at the other side. For one, it's longer. I don't know if you've noticed that, but it is longer by a bit. So what you get there is a little bit more reach on this end. It comes with a number 2 square, number 2 Robertson, and it has a T25 torque. So I'm not sure why. I assume there must be something that's common that uses a T25 that I don't deal with. If you know what that is, let me know. I use Torx occasionally, but it seems like it's usually like a T10 or 15, not the T25. So if you know what that's for, let me know, because it must be for something. So there's your 1/4" nut driver. And then, well, there's your 3/8 inch Allen. So on the outside. And then on the inside here, you have your 3/8 inch nut driver again. Now, this is cool because this side is the same way, where you can put a 2-inch bit in here and it works just fine. Of course, the 2 3/8, that works too. Now this side is only a single end, but that's standard 1-inch bit. So I can take some other kind of bit here, slip that in, and it works fine. It fits inside the screwdriver just like it did before. No problem. So I can put like a number 1 Robertson, the number 1 square, on here and have that, which oddly enough this doesn't include, which bothers me a little bit. I would much rather have a number 1 Robertson than a T25 Torx, but people are different, and this gives you the option of ordering different bits to fit your specific needs, which I'm going to do. I'll probably end up switching this one out for a Robertson on both sides, a number 2 and a number 1, just so that I have that. I could do it just this way, where I have the number 1 here, because I don't hardly ever use a number 1 Phillips, and just have the number 1 Robertson instead, but I'm getting off topic there. That's just minutia. The other cool thing this does, though, is, so that's all the way in, but the ball detent is off center to where this can pull out, and you've got a lot of reach with that setup. Now, of course, if you push very hard, it'll collapse back in, but like, look at something like that. That is a whole lot of reach with just one screwdriver, that if we pull this stuff out, is only that size, and you can expand it quite a few inches if you need to reach into an awkward spot. The other thing they've done here that is a little bit noticeable is, if you make an oopsie, so let's say you've got this sitting here like this, you pull this out, or maybe it's not in there, and you say, oh, I need to put a bit in here, and you have it loose, and you put it there, oh no, it's fallen all the way down in. Well, now we just throw the tool away. Nope, you've got that slot right there, where all you have to do is grab something on the bench. Got this little screwdriver here, trying to stab myself, but you can push on that and free that too short bit back out of the driver. So overall, my disappointment in Klein discontinuing my favorite screwdriver has actually saved me some money and given me what I think is a better tool. Now, out of the box, the Klein would probably work a little bit better for me because it has the number 1 Robertson and the Lenox doesn't. But that's really easy to change. I could do that today if I wanted to by just swapping out that number 1 Phillips I never use for that, and I'm done. I would have everything that I have, or everything that I want, that the Klein has right here in this. And of course, if I break bits, I can always just swap them out for standard 2-inch, or in this case, a 1-inch bit, or fit longer ones, which actually, I can demonstrate that. This 3.5-inch bit, I think I have it on the right side, will actually fit down inside the handle if you really needed to do that. It doesn't click in all the way, so it doesn't quite fully engage the ball detent, but it does sit in there to where it applies some tension. It doesn't fall out easily. So you could even get away with having a really long bit if that's something that you frequently need. A lot of versatility in this tool, which is what I liked about the Klein, but I think this is even a step beyond that. You could put impact rated bits in here to where you can pull them out and use them with an electric tool, with an impact driver, or just stick with the standard ones if you're using it mainly as a hand tool. The other nice thing, just as a little final kind of farewell thought, since I think I've kind of made my point here, is if you've got this Klein handle sitting around somewhere and you've lost this stuff, broken it, you know, whatever the issue is, you're tired of the proprietary bits, maybe this has gotten all rusted up or something, you've rounded out a nut driver, you can go ahead, pay your $16 or $17 for one of these, and slip the whole upgraded unit right inside the Klein. So you can still keep using your trusty old Klein driver and just have a replacement guts out of it, basically. So your ratchet is still the old Klein ratchet, which is really no better or worse than this. But if you've got one of these and you like it, you like having the Klein handle, you could just switch that out. And you're really no better or worse off other than just the cosmetics of it. But the old $35, $40 Klein branded handle, you can now make an even better tool with the Lenox screwdriver here. The part number on this one, by the way, is LXHT60902. I'm going to put that in the description, so if someone wants to look one of these up, you can. I don't get any sort of endorsement from either Klein or Lenox. Both of these I purchased independently with my own money. There's no compensation for talking about these, other than you guys watching ads if you don't have premium or whatever. But I appreciate you watching. I enjoy your comments. If you like, subscribe, that's helpful to me. But I think that pretty well concludes the little discussion of what was my favorite screwdriver and what now is my replacement favorite screwdriver. So thanks for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it helpful, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.